All right, there we go. I had to fix my sound. Sorry about that. Oh, what's up, everybody? How's everybody's day going? Or evening, depending on where you guys are at. I'm in Philadelphia, East Coast, so New York time. All right. So yeah, let's talk about the markets. Let's talk about what's going on. We got some big events this week to watch out for. We got the Fed rate decision coming in on Wednesday. That is a big one. That's going to determine not really whether we hike or, you know, cut rates, because I think that's off the table at this point. It's going to probably come in flat, but it's really about what they say for the future. How oil, like we're going to hear what Powell has to say after all the oil moving up, so and how that's going to affect inflation. We're going to find out. I think the market's going to is anticipating something from Powell that's going to give us a little bit of direction. So we'll see. And then we also have the Bank of Japan coming in on Wednesday night going into Thursday. They have a rate decision. It's not so much them. They're not planning on doing anything with their rates either, but there are rumors that given the oil situation that's going on over there, they may be forced to raise rates in the future to combat that. So if that happens, pay attention, because markets don't like when Bank of Japan raises rates. That's where everybody's borrowing their money. If you heard about it, it's called the yen carry trade. So anyway, you said Stacks is getting ready to break out. What's up, Cub? Alaikum salam, Mahmoud. How are you, man? So yeah, I'm in a Bitcoin long right now. That's why I'm watching this. I'll kind of run you through what's going on, then we'll talk about the markets overall. So Bitcoin, in the Discord this morning, we were live trading. I gave out 2 calls on BTC. I gave out this play right here. The breakdown. We swept Asia high. We lost it, and we had a nice little dump, right? And then I also took a little short here on the back test. Got a little bit of a little something out of that. I didn't take any trades until we broke out of this Asia high range right here on the hourly. I'm showing you on the one, but you can see right here we broke out of this range, and when we back tested, that took a long right there, right off this trend that we've been just continuously since this morning creating. So this trend is valid now on BTC, so I'm long off the trend. But anyway, enough about my trades. Let's talk about Nasdaq. Let's talk about SPY. What's going on? So look, SPY. Talk about this one because this is kind of a market leader. Like, we need to pay attention to what's happening in the SPY and the Nasdaq, because it's going to dictate probably what the rest of the market's doing. But look, I talked about this range yesterday. We lost at 67.20. If we fail to reclaim that, we're coming down to 6,500, right? What are we doing right now? Well, all we've been doing is trying to back test it, and we've been getting rejected initially. So I want to see how we open tomorrow. Can we reclaim this, or do we continue down? Because 6,500 will be next. Actually, took a little bit of a short off that first test. Got a little bit of a move down, and I got out. But it wouldn't be a bad place, man. If you're feeling short, it's not a bad spot. Maybe we pop up a little higher, test this trend. That's also a possibility too. Maybe squeeze out some of those shorts before they head down. So kind of what I'm seeing on SPY. But hey, look, maybe things swing and we crack this trend and things get bullish, right? That's what I would need to see for me to even consider like taking a long at this point. And the target would be up here, that 7,000 if it did do that. So maybe, but right now, so far, it has to prove it to me, and it hasn't done that. So that's what I'm seeing on SPY. Solana price target short term. I got you. I'll get to Solana in a minute. Qs are the same scenario, right? Except Qs are a little bit more bullishly postured. They haven't really, well, maybe they aren't. Maybe they broke down from their range a little bit earlier up here, and they're still struggling. But ideally, the range low is at 24,000, and the range high is at 26. We got a few sub levels in between, right? Which I have marked out. And all we've been doing is chopping around, man. Chopping around. We're hitting our head against this 24.8. I think if we crack that, then maybe we get back up above 25,000, right? We do have this little bit of a downtrend I am watching too. So beneath this, I expect 24,000. If we lose 24,000 on Nasdaq, I think we're probably coming down to eventually this lows down here around 22.5, 22.3, that level. That's where I ultimately think if this does break to the downside. So for now, we'll watch. Maybe there is that one more move up. Who knows? Maybe we do start breaking. We test the highs for one final sweep before a bigger move down. I would see something like that would be crazy, but that's a little bit of hopium right there. That's the short trader in me, the short swing trader in me wanting something like that. But hey, we'll see. Yeah, I go check out some. Let me go look at one more thing real quick, and then we'll go do some requests. All right, guys. So the other thing I want to look at is oil. We got to look at oil. So what's oil been doing? You can't really see much on the daily, but look. I was talking about this trend. I posted this in the Discord as well. I said, watch this trend, man. Below this trend, we could start coming down. Oil could start showing some weakness. So right now, what I'm looking at is a breakdown of the trend, and we're going to see, does it bearishly retest, or can it reclaim the high at 103? If it can reclaim this high at 103, then the uptrend continues. Otherwise, I expect this thing to start taking out some lows. What are we starting to get here, too? Well, a little bit of shoulder, a little head. Maybe we form a right shoulder here on oil, and boom, drop down a little bit. That would be good for risk-on assets. That would probably be good for our gas prices. So we'll see. We'll see, but it's not, look, we haven't lost 4-hour structure yet. That's the low here, sitting around 92. So until we lose that, I mean, look, it could still break back up. This is just like an early sign of, hey, let's look for, the trend is starting to shift, but it hasn't broken structure yet. So we're waiting, but that's oil. So those are the three I'm going to be keeping my eye on this week. Somebody asked for some crypto stuff. Sounds like there are 2 mics picking it up. Why is that always on YouTube? I don't know, man. I think that's a YouTube thing. I only have one. Hold on. Let me just double check something. Gotta do something in the background real quick. I want to just check something. I don't know. How's the sound on TikTok, guys? Give me like a thumbs up. Is it good? Are you hearing an echo? Because I'm getting some feedback on YouTube. Looking to Zen. Okay, sounds great. Thank you. We're going to look at some Zen. We're going to go look at some Solana. And we'll go see some other stuff. Okay, so what is Zen, first off? All right, so Zen. Man, look at that. Look at that bottom right there. So, hey, this thing is, well, let me go to the weekly. So, look. It's in a little bit of accumulation, possibly. Potential accumulation right here, right? Because what are we seeing? Well, tap the low. We created a low. We swept. That's your spring. And we got that pump. Now what are we getting? We're getting that higher low. This would be the continuation. If we continue up here, I mean, look, this is the target, $17. We've already swept all the liquidity here. It's cleared the path for, upside. So if it can hold and can, look, this fast up, fast down right here on Zen. Let me just pull up my VRVP real quick. There's no volume. See that? No volume on the side right there. So this could go up pretty quickly. You got that reversal. Look, shoulder, head, right shoulder, a little pump, reversal pattern here. Well, what are we up against right now, though? Let's talk about it. So, look, if we can break, this is really the only level that's, like, kind of stopping us. It was that previous support once, and, it was once a little bit of support. So, could it be resistance? Possibly, So, that's what we're kind of smacking up against right now. So, I'd imagine traders will probably, this would be a good TP zone to take some off the table, and it's probably where we're seeing some profit taking. But look, if it continues up, starts to break this level, I mean, it's going to just keep going up. Structures up on the weekly. Look, weekly low, weekly high, higher low, and then we broke. So this is looking bullish. At least in the next couple of weeks, it looks like it has some upside. but we're against some temporary support. And let's look at some targets to the upside. So look, what do we leave behind here? We left behind a giant breadcrumb in this gap right here. So this volume gap also left behind a CME gap, or a weekend gap to fill. So that starts around $9. So I'd imagine that's going to serve as resistance going into a gap. I have a little theory, and you can go back test this, but these gaps, oftentimes at first pass, there's usually a rejection because people try to go long here thinking they're going to get an elevator ride up to the top. That's your breakout traders right there. So the market's going to shake those people off first, and then, maybe we'll get a little consolidation, and then we'll get the move up. So if you see this break and gets up towards $9, look for some bullish consolidation up there to potentially rip us back up to $14. And by the time you're up here, you're almost at the highs. So what? Sorry, Ben's texting me some weird shit right now. Crypto Eddie. Yeah, right. So anyway, that's Zen for you, man. Those are some levels, but looks good, and just to the downside, I guess you really want to watch this 450 level, right? Where you broke out from. This is the level you broke out from. See how you back test it? That's support. So if you get rejected here at this $7 and you come back down, hold above 450, and I think you're still good. But yeah, Zen. What's up, Parker? It's good here, just in YouTube. We got to figure out. Yeah, YouTube's been weird, man. This is the second time I've been streaming, and TikTok voice is perfectly fine, but YouTube was off. So it's something on the YouTube end. I'm not sure what's going on there. And yeah, I could do some SoFi. Let me go check out one of my crypto people asked for something earlier on. Well, it wasn't actually crypto, it was STX. I'm sorry, I'm thinking. So Seagate Technologies. All right, so you're in an interesting spot on this Seagate, right? So we talked about it. We said, hey, look, if it breaks this support right around 398, 400, and loses it, you're looking for one. If it can reclaim it, maybe it's just a deviation, right? Continue up. But if it keeps rejecting here and it can't get above this, I expect downside back down to 300, 304. So you're at a key level. So I'd watch this, see what happens. This could have just been a super liquidity, maybe just fuel to move back up, but we'll know at this level. The level 2 break right now, 4 hour looks good. I guess up here around this 425, 426. That would solidify things. But really, we just want to get back into this range here, So even if we get back up here and we get rejected, as long as we hold this range, I expect this is going to probably suck its way back up to the top of the range. That's how ranges tend to work. So we'll see. Got a little bit of a money line starting to develop too, so you can watch that. Right? Lose this trend, lose this support, and it's probably down to 304. This will be the clue of the rejection there. So that's what I'd be watching on Stacks. Or it was STX. I keep saying Stacks. There was a crypto called Stacks. And it's the ticker is STX. So that's why my mind goes there. I'll do some Hyperliquid. Let me just get a couple more in the chat. I want to make sure I get everybody that asked for them. Oh, by the way, guys, if you're not following, if you're not subscribed, hit that follow, hit that subscribe, hit that like. You help push us out to the community, get our views up, and also you'll get notifications when we go live 6 days a week. My name is Eddie. I'm a trader at Tactical Edge Trading. You can check us out, tacticaledgetraders.com. We have free courses on there. We don't gatekeep any of it. We're not trying to sell you a course. We're going to give you that stuff for free, and you'll also have access to our Discord. And check us out. Links are in the description and in the profile page of Zen. BTC to the moon. Oh man, you make me feel bearish right now when you say stuff like that. People can't be bullish. Okay, let's look at SoFi real quick, and then sell. Then we'll look at Sol. I'm gonna balance this out. I don't want this to be a crypto only stream because crypto is pumping. I'll admit, it is exciting right now. Look, you're at a pivotal point. Let's just get some context while we're here, right? We're back down here retesting the $17 level. You saw we got a reaction there, right? That's a weekly level. That is important that we hold this level if we want to have a bounce. Otherwise, it's going to just keep going down. But look, this is strong support right now, the way I look at it. So what are we looking for? We're looking for a higher low to form. higher than this $17 level. Don't lose 17, put a higher low in, and then you can attack this $19.50 to $20 level. If you break that level, then you got a shot all the way back up to 22. And if you take 22, you're going back up to 25. So those are the levels to the upside, and that's the immediate level to the downside. So right now, look, man, what I'll be watching for is, can this trend break? If this trend on the 4-hour breaks to the upside, we start, you start seeing 4-hour shifts in structure again, I'd say you're probably got a good shot at that 1950 in the coming days. So I'd be watching for that on SoFi. Let me get my Sol chart up real quick. All right, so I put this trade out there a while back, right? On Solana. Solana's been in a downtrend, right? It's very obvious by the downtrend. So look, this is where Sol's at right now. So anyway, it's in a downtrend. It lost the range around 116. That was the range low. The range high was up to like 150, right? We lost that back in December. So right now, what are we doing? Well, this is an ascending triangle. If you know anything about pattern trading, this has a higher percentage of breaking to the upside than the downside. It's also a reversal pattern. Doesn't mean we're going to the moon. It just could mean that, hey, we're going to probably take back some of that liquidity, get that little bounce, maybe a relief rally before a bigger move down. Do I think crypto's going to all-time highs again? Not right now. But this is a pattern we've been talking about. I've been long since down here on Sol. I actually threw these setups in the Discord. So if you guys aren't in the Discord, join in, man. You can catch some banger moves sometimes. It's not a signals group, but we throw ideas out there, put them on your radar. But look, we're breaking that resistance around 91.92. That is now the support I'm looking to see hold on Sol, right? As long as it's above this level, I'm cool. I'm bullish. If it starts breaking back into this, it's a little bit of a red flag. And then the bigger red flag is losing this local trend that we started since Sunday of like last week. It's like a 2-week trend. So I'd be watching for that 92 to hold, right? If so, then, I think 105 is your next target. And then you could potentially, the measured move of this thing, right? That's your measured move. Takes you up to just about this 116. So this is the levels I'd be watching. Watch that 92 for support. You're looking for 106 as your next level to the upside where you may get some resistance. If you clear that, then I think you got a good shot of retesting that previous breakdown at 116. So that's my analysis on Sol for you. Yeah, no problem. It's ET. Can I look at ES futures? Yeah, I looked at SPY, I looked at ES and Qs already in the beginning. I'll take a quick look at it just to kind of give you my analysis. Look, it's the same thing. Let me get rid of all this old charts. So it's real simple here. That's your next level. That's the level you're trying to reclaim right there. Can you get back above? Essentially, it's a little lower than this. It's like right around here. Can you get back above the 67? Let's call it 67.4, 67.50. Like, you know what I mean? Like right around there. If you can get back above that, then you gain acceptance back, into this previous range. Look, maybe there's a shot that this thing runs back up and takes out some of these highs here before, it makes its next move. Like, it's leaving a lot of liquidity behind. So if it does reclaim, then I expect that to be attacked. Otherwise, if it starts to roll over around this level, can't reclaim it, then you're looking back down to 65.40, 6,500, that level. So just come watch this level in the coming days. Can we reclaim? Can we form a little bit of a bottom here? Otherwise, it's, and I'd still be watching for a lower high up here. It's just whether we're going to put the lower high in down here and continue, or we're going to come up a little bit and then maybe do one of these. Because that's ultimately what I'm thinking in the future. But doesn't mean you can't catch some nice moves on the way up. But that's what I'm looking at on SPY. It's pretty much the same thing on the Qs too, man. Like Qs, we're in a range, right? If you can break out of this range, break this trend, maybe you come attack the highs. Otherwise, you're coming back down to 24,000. If you lose 24,000, it's back down to 22,400. Hope that helps. ETH. I'll go look at some ETH in a minute. Let me just make sure I got everybody else's stuff. By the way, guys, if you're not following, you're not subscribed, hit that like, subscribe, follow. You'll get notifications. You also help notifications when I go live, when Ben goes live 6 days a week. And you'll also help out the channel by getting us out there to other viewers, push us out into the algo. So you do us a favor. And also check us out, tacticalhedgetraders.com. SoFi. Did I look at SoFi yet? Let me go look at SoFi. I think I did. Yeah, I looked at SoFi already. Coin. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go look at Zen USDT because someone asked for that a little bit ago. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to go take a quick look at it. It looks like shit. You're pressing up against resistance right now, dude. You're like right up at that previous range, right? This is the low. So, I mean, your next major resistance on the weekly isn't so up here at $14. But what I want to see, I guess, is a reclaim. Like, can this thing reclaim and start making market structure up? And it hasn't done that yet on the weekly. So, on the daily, we are breaking structure for the first time, but I don't think it's a shift yet. Yeah, we're breaking structure on the daily. So, can you reclaim this level around $7? If you can, then maybe you have a shot back up here to 14. So that's what I'd be looking for on Zen USDT. Yeah, I got you. I just checked it out for you, Mahmoud. What was the other one somebody asked for? Tesla? Let me go look at Tesla real quick. I mean, look, Tesla's still holding the level we talked about yesterday. Look, it's trying to like attack this high, right? Around 45. And it's trying to hold somewhere around the previous high. So what we're looking for here on Tesla, we put in a low here. That's our weekly low. That's our daily low. If we lose that 384, it's coming down. And this is the first area I'll be watching to the downside. It's 335 down to like 380. And then if it does take that liquidity and keeps running down, then your next real big level is not down to about 220, right? That's the macro trend. That's also the last, like, that's where the pump started back in April of last year. So that would be like the area I'll be watching. But we are starting to get like a little bit of an Adam and Eve pattern going on, right? Got your little Adam and you're starting to get that rounded bottom, that softer bottom. So if this thing can start curving up, then yeah, I think it's going to run up and start attacking some of this liquidity it left behind. All this shit is up for grabs. All this. So if they can hold support here, you know, maybe they come up. Even if it is just to put in a lower high, it's still going to pop you up a little bit maybe just to grab some of this stuff. But I'd be looking for the next resistance around 450. That's like the next major level I see as like, if it does pop here and starts grabbing liquidity, this is going to be the level to break, right? Yeah, right up there because that's the next daily like level. But those are your levels on Tesla. Somebody asked for ETH. I mean, I'm gonna. This is you guys. This is a brag session now. This is what this is turning into for me. So ETH gave this call a while back. I said if ETH breaks 2150, it's coming up to 2400. Posted this one in the Discord. I actually did take this trade. I just closed out. So, but look, we're up against resistance right now. Would I be longing right here? No. What I would be doing is watching to see how price forms around here. Are we going to put in a local high or are we going to continue, right? The next level up is around this 2480, 2500 if we can break through. So, and you can see on the 4-hour why that matters on ETH. It's just a little bit of leftover liquidity before that low volume gap that takes us back up to like that 2800 level. So, if we do continue to chop up, I'd be watching this level around 2450, 2500 for resistance. In the short term, I mean, look, man, this is what you're watching. You're watching this trend. Keep your eye on that trend. When that trend starts to break, it's probably time to take some profits and maybe lock in your stop loss above the break even if you are long. So that's what I'd be watching there. It's up until this breaks, and if it breaks, we're probably coming back down to retest that 2150, 2200. You know, it's fast up, fast down in this range here. So that's ETH. what was my entry and stop? Dude, my entry was down here. Right here. No joke. As soon as it broke, I entered in this little consolidation here. If you go down to your like 15, you can see exactly what I did. It was so simple. I was looking for the breakout and I was looking for a retest. When it started to form a little bit of a trend and I saw this pattern going into this trend, I was like, you know what? When it breaks, I'm taking it. That'll be the confirmation. And it broke and I just stayed in it. I've just been chilling in it. I had trades going into resistance, but my thinking is this. Once we've got, like I was long in this range down here up into resistance, but once we got up here, I TP'd and I was like, when it flips, I'll look for the continuation. That's just how I trade though. Just in this market, I'm not holding trades too long. But yeah, that's my ETH trade. Quantum computing. What's the ticker for that? Qubits. Got it. I mean, dude, this thing's volatile as shit. So that's the first thing I'll say about that. Like, I mean, you see how fast it goes up and it comes right back, gives it all up. So I guess if I, like, the only level to watch right now is this level to the downside. Like, we're headed down. We're in a downtrend, you know? Like, it's established. This is the big level, man. It's back down here around 468. Maybe there's a little bit of, maybe there's some support before that, right? If we all go to our daily, like that level right, just right before that, maybe we can find some support here around this 574. But like we're headed down towards this liquidity zone. So I think this is really what you need to be watching. And to the upside, this is the major level we can't get over. It's right there. It's at 952. You see that? See how we bounced here, bounced, we fell, and then we rejected it. And then we're unable to get back above it, and we're still continuing down. So I think it's downside until this thing proves itself. But there's no market structure right now to the upside. So those are the levels, man. I don't really have too much else in there. I don't really know what's going to happen between these, resistance and support. Price does weird shit. Chainlink, and then coin. I look at coin. Let me go look at coin real quick. Coin for Haru. All right, so coin bouncing off a weekly low, right? A very important weekly low. We talked about this low a couple times in the past couple weeks. And we said, hey, look, if we can catch a bounce here, I expect a little bit of a relief rally. And it might mark a pump for crypto. So what are we doing? Well, we're flagging out. You have a little bit of a local uptrend. The only thing I'm watching for it right here, all right, is sure, we're flagging out, and it looks like it's getting ready to break, or may have already broke. But we left behind the CME gap. So if it does pull back, I'm watching the CME gap below to fill maybe down to 185. Otherwise, it's probably on its way up to 227 if it doesn't even get that pullback. That's the next major level. And if you break back into 227, then look, the next level is 262. So that's your support. That's your resistances. But it looks good. It looks like it's got another move up at least. Yeah, I already looked at Qubit, Ahmed. I think I just looked at it. Someone asked for Chainlink. I've been a lot of Chainlink the last couple days. All right. So where are we at? We're sitting above previous resistance. All right. Back down here. The old range that we were chopping around in, back in the bear market, that's what we're trying to fight. We swept everything. We swept the low from the October 6th dump. So naturally, it's normal to get a bounce here. So I guess the real question is, if we can continue up, what's the next level? Well, I think this is your first level I'll be watching. It's around that $11, $12. It's the previous range, and it's just been resistance in the past. Like anytime we've broken out, like you can see, when we bounce at this level, we've found resistance at $12 before a bigger move up. So that's the level I'd be watching. And for support, I mean, the low that just got put in on the daily is around 840. If it breaks below that, then it's going to invalidate this move up, right? Because you got to break a structure. The shift's already happened. But it still looks like a bear flag to me at the end of the day. So I wouldn't get too crazy with this thing. Like, this thing could run up a little bit and then still dump, and that's still just a lower high, you know, at the end of the day. So don't get too bullish, but like those are your levels. $12 to the upside if you can hold this. But you are coming up against 4-hour resistance right now. So this level right there that we're at right now, $10. There's some temporary resistance right here. So if you pop that, that's your key to 12. And I would want to stay above 960. That would make a lot of sense for me because look, touch, 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 breakout, retest on the 4 hours. So like to be bullish in the short to medium term, I think stay above 961. And then I think you have a good shot at maybe getting up to $12. I noticed Chainlink has strong support in the $8. Yeah. I mean, it does. I mean, right now, like, I don't know, like, I still think it's going to go lower, but it has built a little bit of support around here. I'm full port short now. Amazon? I could check out some Amazon. I got a lot of TA on Amazon. All right, so Amazon. I got to get rid of the drawings. There's too much. So here's the macro analysis on Amazon. It's still in an uptrend. It hasn't broken structure yet. All right? That's your trend. You're still above the trend. You can even hug that up a little bit more if you want to and say we've bounced off of it. So what next? Well, locally we lost this level here that we're fighting up against around 213. See this? This was once a range. It was once support. So what happens if we break back into this? I expect we're going to probably go for the next high, which sits up here around 246. So if you can take out this 211 the resistance that we're in right now and flip this, then you open up a potential move back up to this level here around 240, 250. You left behind a lot of breadcrumbs, right? You've taken the one CME gap right there, but you've left behind another one a little bit higher up. So that could be a short-term target, you know, in the coming days, back up to 226, maybe up to 232, and see how it reacts there. If it rolls over, then you know it's probably the lower high you were looking for, and it's probably coming back down. In the short term as well, I guess not short term, but on the daily, you got a daily trend starting to trend up. So that could be something you watch. As long as that's there intact, I think it's going to continue up. So, and look, you got a local trend on the 4 hour. So it's posturing bullish, like it's getting ready to make a break, or it's going to dump. It's like, but you're going to know probably in the next couple of days. So this is going to make a move in the next few days. My bets, I would say, lean a little bit more to the upside. Like you take the measured move, it takes us up to that CME gap, which would make a lot of sense. So that's Amazon right now. By the way, guys, if you're watching right now and you're not following or subscribed, hit that follow, hit that subscribe, hit that like. You'll get notifications when we go live 6 days a week. Myself and Ben, we are both traders. Ben's a full-time trader. I'm a full-time trader. We're both at tacticaledgetrading.com. Well, tacticaledgetraders.com. Excuse me. We have a website. We put together a bunch of free courses. We don't sell courses. We're not course sellers. It's not what we do. We put the information out there for free, and you also can gain access to our Discord, where you'll be part of a real trading community, real traders, all levels, and yeah, you can iron sharpens iron. So check us out if this is interesting, or you know you're aspiring to be a trader. That you're in the right place. You noticed, okay, it's Chainlink, I've heard that. Hyperliquid. So that's Amazon. Let me go look at Hyperliquid for its ET. I got you, bro. So I'm going to just do this on the KuCoin one. So look, we've been looking at this move for a while in the Discord. We actually, I think Nick was talking about this one first, and then we've just been kind of watching it just pump like ridiculous. So look, essentially what has it been? It's been high, low, higher high, higher low on the higher time frame. So Hyperliquid doesn't look like the rest of crypto. I'll give it that much. Still looks like shit, but it looks a lot better than it. Looks like more polished shit. But locally, what's happened, right? We were in a downtrend for quite a bit of time, and that popped. It popped that downtrend right there, and it's putting in a higher low, and we're continuing up. So the uptrend is now established. Like this is a daily, and I would imagine it's a weekly break of structure, market structure shift. So look, low, high, higher low, market structure shift. Now what we need to see is, hey, what's up next? Like what's our next level? Well, this $49 level seems very interesting to me on the weekly. So mark that out. And I think there's some sub levels like around $44 that we could watch as resistance, and we're approaching those levels now. So and you'll see price react as we get up here. So these are your levels to the upside. You have 44, and you break that, you're back up into the 50s. Not much here. This thing is strong. It's going to keep doing this until it doesn't. And if Bitcoin is getting a little bit of a pump, this thing is going to keep running. So those are the levels I'm watching on Hyperliquid. To the downside, look, the big level to not lose here, your daily low is down here around $29, $30. Don't lose it. Keep that. If you can hold that low, the structure is still clean. So there's not much to really to think there. Like you could realistically come down and still be bullish on this thing. So like it left a little bit behind here, right? So if it did pull back a little bit, it would be okay. Like maybe a little pullback into this zone, down here, maybe a pullback over here, something like that to continue up if it got rejected anywhere. But it looks good. Yeah, thanks, Caleb. I try to keep it simple, man. Trading's not complicated. People make it complicated for God knows what reason. And I think in something that requires precision, execution, discipline, and control of emotions, the simpler the better. And the emotions part is the big part, if I'm being honest. Like the psychology behind trading, because like you can understand TA in a few weeks. You can probably learn how to read a chart and then probably execute a strategy within a few months. But the hard part is managing your, what's happening between the ears, kind of brings me to a little bit of a segue. So we've been talking about the website, tacticaledgetraders.com. I actually have the website here. Just want to show you guys real quick how this thing is. So look, you go to tacticaledgetraders.com, join for free. You get access to the training grounds. In the training grounds, right? Ben put together courses for you, starting with foundations. There's a module with courses that'll get you, like this is like the first thing you should go through, right? Then they got psychology of money. Then he has an entire course on personal finance, trading view basics, foundations of the boot camp. So we have boot camps as well. We've done boot camps in the past, but this is going to teach you what you need to know: structure, charts, candles. Look, we go into real trader psychology. This is what I'm talking about. This is the money right here. Like this, honestly, if I had to pick one thing, I would probably to monetize, this would be it, because that's the real money. Learning from real traders who have done it and understand the psychology. That's gold right there. And you don't hear about psychology a lot from some of these courses. And then look, we got even more stuff: how markets work, market structure basics, liquidity, acceptance and rejection, order flow from our order flow people out there. Look, order flow execution. Ben put a lot of stuff into this. So it's not a bullshit course. Check it out if you're interested. TacticalEdgeTraders.com, and hit that like, hit that subscribe, and follow. But anyways, let me go look at Microsoft, guys. And then I think I got everything there. MU, I got to go look at MU as well, and NBIS and CVS. All right, so Microsoft. We're bouncing on a multi-month trend, multi-year trend. I lied. It's a multi-year trend. Stems back from October 2022, right? And we're catching a little bit of a bounce here. And we talked about this area. We need to hold this, otherwise it's back down into the 350s, right? And it seems like it is holding. And I drew this out ahead of time, but I was like, if this plays out, this is going to be a sick move, right? So let me get rid of some of my LARP lines here. But ideally, what I'm looking for is that higher low to get formed here. We have the low. We have the sweep of that low. So that's the head, shoulder, head. And I'm looking for that right shoulder to get put in to give me that inverse head and shoulders to reverse me up. The measured move, I'll save you all the too much. But look, the measured move, if this played out, would take us back into the CME gap that we left behind. So that's my plan here. I think that I'm going to see how this plays out. If this puts in a higher low and doesn't take out this 382, I think that, the next level to break would be 314. If we crack that, we're back into the 340s, 350s, and attack that gap. So those are the levels on Microsoft. We just need to hold this trend, hold that local low we have on the weekly and the daily right now. If we hold that low, I think we're good. I think there's a little pump coming. But once it gets up here, we'll see. You know, maybe it fills the gap. It could still put in a lower high and continue down. But, you know, I think this is going to be a good target. So, I'm not interested. The real money's selling BS courses and a fixed income. Yeah. Yeah, bro. That's all you see when you go out there. It's like, hey, buy my course, join my Discord, and pay my course. Like, look, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, we have a free section in the Discord, and we have a section for more like serious members who want to do live trading and want to be part of that like tight knit group because we trade live together. And yeah, it does cost a little bit of money. It's like $100 a month, but we don't like I said, we don't sell a course. Like all of our stuff, how we trade's out there. What you're paying for is a little bit more attention from us. You're paying for our time, like in the paid section. You're not paying for us to teach you how to trade. You'll know how to trade at that point. You're just looking for like guidance on how to like make it all work, put it all together. That's the best way I can describe that. And I'm okay with monetizing that because you know what? Like our time is valuable, just like Ben's time's valuable, and so is Nick's. So, but we keep it affordable. And it's not for like someone who just pops in for the first time in our Discord and the courses. We highly recommend you spend some time in the free section and then you actually go through the courses and really like get a foundational understanding, because if you then you'll know, it's like the more you know, the less you know. So it's like you'll know what you don't know at that point. And then we can actually really help you. So, but yeah, that's Microsoft. No, we didn't check out Netflix, but I do got a couple more before Netflix I got to hit. So I got to go look at MBIS for somebody asked Farcoin, please. I've been watching it a little. I'll look at Farcoin for you, Parker. Do I trade gold? Yes, I trade gold. Easy 14. I could look at gold for you if you want. I haven't been trading it lately because it's been boring. That's not where the money is right now. Money's been in oil. I've been trading oil and a little bit of Bitcoin because Bitcoin's been running. So look, MBIS got some levels marked out, but look, it's been up. It broke the previous high. It's finding some local support right here in this range, down to $75, right? And it's broken structure on the weekly. You got a weekly market structure shift. You got your low, your higher low, and then there's the break of structure there. So it's left behind a little bit of a gap, but it's going to attack the high right now. So if it decides it's going to take the high now, I'd be watching for, does it break through? Does it sweep? Does it reject? Like, that's what I'd be looking for. Otherwise, if it doesn't make it all the way up there, what I'd be looking for is a pullback into two areas while I'm watching. So the big area I'd be watching is this low here that it just broke out of that 110, and also this CME gap it left behind. So those are two areas I think to the downside you can keep an eye on. So the CME gap from 123 down to about 117, and you also have that 110, which is that breakout here. You see high, we broke. If we did, let's say we did come back down and we lost this level at 110, the level below that to watch would probably be this. We left we left another gap behind. So if then that type of scenario. So look, if we pull back, this is the area of supports I'd be watching to the downside. I don't know exactly where if it does pull back, but if it does, these are the levels you're looking for a reaction. But I would really like to see that 110 hold. Like maybe it fills the gap and holds 110. That would probably be the most ideal scenario there for me, because then we're like, maybe a little pullback here, gain some more, bids, and then we run it up. That would be awesome. If it started to do this and start to like fade this little and then going into this gap, I'd be a little bit more worried. Although we could still continue bullishly, because look, that's the daily low. This is like a shakier situation, and I'd have to really like assess it, because one, I don't like losing. Like once we flip resistance into support on like a daily, I don't really like losing that level. And if we do, I'm always iffy about taking a long lower down. But that's just me. So maybe your system says something different. But those are the levels I'm watching, man, on NBIS. Let me go look at MU. And I'll go look at some gold. I did look at oil already. It's ET. Right in the beginning was one of the first thing I looked at. But I can look at some gold next. All right, so look, Micron. It's been in an uptrend, man. Like, there's no fade in this thing, right? And what does it do? It eventually, it'll put in a high, have a pullback, right? Like we saw back here, and then it'll run up and break it. And what did we do? We put in a high, we had a pullback, we established some support, and we're attempting to break out now. So look, this is the key level. Like, I'm gonna just raise this up a little bit. If we get back above this 454, 455 level, you know, it's probably back into price discovery, and maybe it runs up a little bit stronger. Maybe it runs up, but for now it's resistance, so just be mindful. But it looks strong. It does look strong. So you're looking for something like this for continuation. Otherwise, if it sweeps and closes back under, then you're looking for, you know, a move maybe back down somewhere here. Maybe to fill the CME gap it left behind over here, right? This little gap. So there's some targets to the downside if it does reject here, starting with this little gap. And then I would say, you know, what happens below that, maybe you come back down to 400. But normally in a range, if you lose the range, you know, if you get rejected at resistance, you come back down to the lows. So the idea here is not to lose that. So take a trend line, run that up. This is like your safety line here, right? You don't want to see this thing deviate below trend. Could it come back down? Take this gap, tap the trend, maybe retest this previous high. Absolutely. And then maybe attack the high then. That would be an ideal scenario for the bulls if it didn't take the high now. So, but below this trend, I start to get a little bit more worried that maybe you're coming back down here. So that's the levels on MU. I've already gone over SPY, so I'll have to circle back on SPY if we have some time, but I got to hit some other ones first that we didn't hit yet. All right, so gold spot. We can look at, you want to look at futures? Yeah, let's look at futures. Now I want the futures. I think this is the same. Let me see. Yeah, it is. All right. So, look, I'm just going to do gold on my gold chart. I already have it charted out. There's no reason to get too crazy with this. So, look, we put in a high at 5,600. We came down, put in a very, like, a low around 4,400. And we've been chopping up sideways, basically with low volume back into this high. We never reclaimed it. We rejected around this 5,400. And we lost trend, right? So this is the first thing that's like my first red flag here, right? We lost this trend on a big impulse. And then we've been bear flagging out. And look, we're breaking down from that bear flag. So what happens here? So look, for now, the trend is down on the daily. That's, you know, we're at a pivotal point. I'd be watching this level here. And I'd be watching this 5,000, man. If we lose 5,000, that's a mark. That'll be a confirmed market structure shift on the daily. And then my expectation starts to become that we're going to probably come back down and reclaim this, take this $4,400 level. So right now on the lower time frames, like the 4 hour and maybe like the daily, like you're at a pivotal point. Like you got to hold this. If you don't hold this, it's coming down and it's going to get back into the fours. And I don't know if it stops at 4,800. Maybe it just continues down. So for now, you're holding a little bit of a low. See how we get up here. When we get up to this 5,100, do we break that level? That's been the level to break the entire time, right? If I just draw a straight line across right here, that's the level, man. If it doesn't get back above 5,100, which is also lining up with this downtrend, then I'm expecting this thing to just do this and bang, roll over. But otherwise, if it breaks this, gets back above, then hey, we start talking. Maybe we go back up and attack this 5,400 level. Break that, then maybe we get back up to 56. But for now, we're just sideways and kind of indecisive right now. But that's what I'm seeing on gold. By the way, guys, my name is Eddie. I am a trader at Tactical Edge Trading. Check out our website, tacticaledgetraders.com. You'll get access to our free courses, and you also have access to our free Discord. Join in. Become part of a group of real traders who do this for a living. If you're not following or subscribe, hit that follow, hit that subscribe, smash that like. helps out the channel and also gets you notified when we're going live 6 days a week. We typically go around the same time, around like I'm about 9:30, 9 o'clock at night, but sometimes I go a couple minutes earlier if there's an event and want to go live, like something that's really like getting the markets fired up. I may go live earlier depending. So you'll get those notifications and then, you won't miss out. Just want to check out BTC real quick. I want to see how we're doing because I'm long on this thing right now. And looks like we're holding, guys. But I might take some profits while I'm just chilling here. I don't want to give too much back. I'll give you guys a little tip about trading, right? It's not about holding the move and squeezing out every last dime. It's just about catching just enough to be happy and take somebody out safely and then walk away. Put yourself in a risk-free position where you're not going to lose the trade. If you can do that consistently, trading's easy. Yeah, let me go look at NXPI. And then I'll go look at SPY again for you guys. Do you think the Dow Jones will get better in the future? We could look at it. There's not a futures for this. So semiconductors have been getting smashed lately, and it makes sense with everything going on in the news. It also doesn't help that, just everything going on, man. It's not helping semis. But look, that's really what happened. You lost trend back here, back in March of last year. Or March of this year, you lost trend. I'm sorry. Wow, my time's off. Now it's like December, February. And we've been trying to reclaim it, but look, we're struggling to get back above, man. Like, look, this is not posturing bullishly right now. What it looks like is people are selling off. So the low I'd be watching to confirm the break of structure on the weekly would probably be down here at 182. 182, 183. If you hold that, maybe we continue to range. If we start to lose that, I think this thing's coming down hard. And I think 145 is the first stop, and then maybe down lower. So that's the level you need to hold, and the level you need to break to get bullish. I hate to say it, but it's all the way up here at 256. Like that's where things flip bullish again. That's where you left the daily high. That's the weekly high. So for now, you're just chilling, waiting to see if this 182 holds. If it does, then I'd watch for this little trend that's developing to break, right? And then maybe you got to pop back up to, back into the 200s. So maybe something like this. If it holds, boom, pop back up. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a pretty big drop. This will be the first stop, and then I think ultimately you're coming down to grab more liquidity below. This is the level I think it ends up making its way to eventually. So that's what I'm looking at, NXPIK. So hopefully that helps. Why does TA and market structure work? I have an idea, but interested in what you think and how it helps. Okay, TA and market structure work. Why? Because psychology has never changed on people. People are the same. We think the same. We see charts. We see certain things in the market, and our the way people are reflected in the charts. So it's created something like market structure. When people see new highs being created and higher lows, it's like a psychological thing. It's where like traders will go long because they're like the market's showing you that it's continuing. It's like if you're walking upstairs, you know what I mean? You're taking steps up, that's the same thing with the market. It's just a simple way to break down like the movement and which direction the market's in. It's not perfect, but TA works because it's like almost like a self-foretold prophecy sometimes. So like everyone's looking at a certain level, then there's a good chance you're going to get a reaction there. We don't know what the reaction is going to be, but we know it's going to happen. Something's going to happen there, right? So it's the same thing. Like when market structure is up and people see that we're stair-stepping up, they're going to continue to put their money into that asset. And when we're going down and you start to see stair-stepping down, people start to get scared. They'll start to capitulate the same way. Or the dummies will start to buy the dip and with no confirmation. But like I can't really give you like the full in-depth answer there. There's a lot more to it. That's just like a just a quick overview of why it works. It's people, man. End of the day, it's people who trade, and over time, people have shown the same patterns over and over in the market. And people go back, they got nerdy ass people, way nerdier than me, who have gone back and they've back tested these things for years and have developed strategies and, just like fundamentals to trading based off that. And then, the more people that like learn about market structure, and the more it becomes, like I said, a self-foretold prophecy. Like people, traders respect that, like market structure shifts. They respect support and resistance. That's why you see reactions there on big money and smart money. And that's, good traders tend to fall under smart money because they trade with smart money. So therefore they become smart money. I know I got a little deep there. XRP, I can go look at XRP. I knew there was an XRP coming. Look, man, it's in the same spot it was at before. Not really too much changed on XRP from the last time we've talked about it. I don't remember if it was you asked, but this is the level. This is 189 and 190 level, right? Anything below that is just a back test. So could we get all the way back up here? Absolutely. Absolutely. We could get right back up to this level. Are we on our way there? It looks like it. So locally, this is a big, strong sign, right? This bullish engulfing candle there, and then we've created a range. And what did we do? We broke out of that range. So like right here, we had the fake out, breakout. We took liquidity up here. So now we're breaking out of that range that we were just in, right? Simplify it, right? That's what's happening. Was it a bull flag? Potentially. If it is a bull flag, how do you measure it? Well, just do that. Take the flagpole. Where does it take us? 189. So do I think we're headed up there? Probably. I think a short-term target would be this wick that we left behind probably a lot of liquidity up here. So I'd be looking for this wick to be the first target to the upside if we can sustain essentially above this 150 level. I really don't want to see it break back into this range. Can it deviate below and like a little wick? Sure. But it needs to essentially hold this level. I don't want to see acceptance back into here. Otherwise, it's coming down. But hold above 150. I think 166, 167 is your next target. Ultimately, I think you could get back up to 189, 190. So that's what I'm seeing on XRP. And for now, it's up, man. It's up until it's not. It broke a key level. If it can hold this, I think it's going to move up a little bit more. Structure on the 4 hour, structure on the daily, it's all saying up for now. So, yeah. But, I probably myself would be looking for shorts at that 189 level. That's just me. It gets up there, man, I'd be looking for like a nice little, because ultimately, like I said, I think in the grand scheme of things, take everything away, right? What is this? It's what everything does. Like when you lose a major level or a major range, at some point you will you'll revisit that zone, and if it can't get back in, it's going to do this. So I'm more leaning towards that than anything. And we also have a little bit of a trend here. So look at that. So now we have the downtrend from the highs that got put in this cycle, kind of lining up right around that support. If we just continue up over the next couple days or the next week into this zone, this is resistance. This is hardcore resistance. So, yeah, I'd be looking for shorts up there in this area. But for now, it's up. It could reject soon. Absolutely. Look, if Bitcoin rolls over tomorrow, everything's coming down too with it. So, like, just keep in mind, like, we're in a very news-driven, in a global, like, political-driven, like, market right now. Like, the slightest thing that happens is shaking the market or sway the market. And we got big news coming out on Wednesday. Well, big day coming out on Wednesday. So, I don't know. I'm a little sus that we're pumping into FOMC. It's never a good thing when you pump into a big event like that, because FOMCs tend to swing the markets in either direction. If I see Bitcoin up at 79, 80K by that point, which is like up here, if I see Bitcoin on Wednesday approaching this level that I've had marked out for quite a bit of time, right? Around 79, 80K, maybe it goes up a little higher, right? But I'm assuming maybe it'll respect this little bit of a downtrend. If it's up there by Wednesday, I might probably be looking to put my short cap back on. looking for longer term swings. It's a key level. And if we were to go into a news event, I mean, it's just red flags written all over it. But we'll see. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Check out Tao. I can check out Tao, Mahmoud. Let me look at Dow Jones first, because somebody did ask for Dow. Sorry about that. I got wrapped up in my crypto shit. You got to pull me back from the dark side every once in a while, guys. I tend to go into the degen coins sometimes. Used to trade that shit. I got to still look at Fart Coin, apparently, for Parker. I know he's here still. I know he's still here. I'll look at some Fart Coin for you. So look, Dow. This can't be the right Dow. Is this Dow? Yeah, I guess this is Dow. So I'm just looking at it on the weekly. So that's the weekly support. You're approaching weekly resistance there, and then you got a level below us that we bounced off already. So those are your weekly levels, right? Look, man, Dow's pushing. This is not the right Dow, is this? Is this the Dow Jones? I'm pretty sure this is, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm going to TA this anyway. Somebody asked for the Dow Jones. Yeah, is this it, dude? I don't know if I'm looking at the right thing or not. Anyway, look, this thing, whatever I'm looking at, Dow, I'm pretty sure this is it. Look, your support is 30. Your resistance is 42 now. So as long as you're above 30, the trend continues up. This is probably the next level you're looking at. If you break above that, then it's probably back up into that $50 level, where you broke down from back in years ago. Look at this. See what I mean? You broke down years ago. So, like, does it come all the way back up here and reclaim some of these levels? Maybe. But look, this is why this 42 level is going to be so important. Drag it over. That's the low that we broke down from. So that's the main level I want to see us get to. If we do get up there, I want to see it break if you want to remain bullish. Yeah, Dow Jones. I look at the wrong thing. I know I was looking at the wrong thing. Dow Jones. Yeah, okay. Dow is probably... No, Dow looks like shit. Dow looks like shit. So, that's why I thought I was looking at the wrong thing. I'm like, this is definitely not it. Because it's supposed to look like the S&P. And it does. It does. I mean, essentially, it looks like the S&P 500, right? We have a trend. You have your little wick low from the tariffs from last March. And then we're approaching a previous breakout. So these are the big levels on Dow right now. So I'd be watching this 45-100 as your support. If we put in a higher low here at this level that we're at right now, your next real level of resistance isn't back up here. So back like in this zone up here, starting around like 48,000. But right now the trend is down, so I would just continue to expect it maybe to make its way down here to eventually down to this 45,500. So, yeah, the trend is down, but that's your resistance up there. Sits at 48,500, and your support, some local support around 46,000. But I think it's really down here at that 45. And if we break that level, right, if we go a little bit lower, then you have that trend. But look, every time the Dow's done the same thing that the S&P does. When it breaks an all-time high, it comes back and revisits it, right? So it's not weird for us to come back and revisit this. So if we were looking for a bigger bounce, I'd probably be looking at that $45,000 level. That's just me. Let me look here. Does it here too? Every time it breaks a high, it comes back and revisits it. And it also tends to line up with this trend too. You see what I'm saying? There's a pattern here. So let's see if it does the same thing. But this could take weeks. Like, this could play out over the next, like, couple months. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I think there's a chance for it. I think buyers just want to get in a little lower. And I think with everything right now, this is probably going to get smacked a little harder. Do you think SoFi could just dump? I don't know, dude. Anything could just dump, to be honest with you. By the way, guys, if you're not following, you're not subscribed, hit that follow, hit that subscribe, hit that like. You help out the channel. You also get notifications when we go live 6 days a week. Myself and Ben, who put together a wonderful trading course. He gives all of his knowledge accumulated over 10 years of trading. and he gives it to you for free on the website. That website is tacticaledgetraders.com. You can join for free. Just need an email. And then if you want, you also have access to our Discord, where I highly recommend you join and be around real traders, be part of a real trading community. What else are we looking at? Love the content. Thanks, Kearns. See Kearns. Appreciate that. What is JBL? Someone, Jabil? What is this? Zaid, you got to tell me what this is, bro. Or Zaid. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. I want to know what this is. I mean, it's bullish right now. It's straight up. Like, I mean, you can't fade this thing, right? I mean, it's just been up since 2020. I mean, most recently it broke out of a weekly bull flag, right? So that's the flag. See that? What's the measured move? Well, you take the bull, you take the flagpole. I mean, this thing's telling me 350. So what I would do is watch locally. You got a little bit of a trend starting to form. You got some support right here at the high that we just broke out of, right? And you're holding. So you hold that level, will be my first level to watch, around 231. And you got a little bit of a trend. It did deviate slightly, but it's still holding right there. See that? So just get rid of this bull flag so we can not get so confused. But these are the levels. So as long as you're trending above this trend, it's going to continue to do what it was doing, just up. Higher highs, higher lows. If you break down below this, I think your first level is 231. And if you lose that, then, I mean, it's probably down back to 192. Well, for now, I'd be watching to the upside. It looks bullishly postured. Look at that inverse head and shoulders on the 4-hour right off that trend. Shake out some traders here. Get some fucking shorts trapped, thinking that this is the breakdown. Your breakout traders. And then you accumulate back up, create that right shoulder, and start to pop. So I think it's probably coming back up to 281 soon. That's probably the measured move. I would bet that this is going to be the measured move here. Look at that. Pretty damn close. Takes us right back up to the high at 280. So, yeah, I'll be watching 280, man. Earnings Wednesday? Yeah, maybe it's holding off until earnings, then it runs up, or it runs up into earnings. If that's the case, I get a little bearish, though. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well, Fed Smoker. How are you? Did you get in on Battle the other week when we went from 4? No, I didn't, man. I didn't. I trade so many things. Jesus. Yeah, this thing went up, man. But look at that bear flag. See this bear flag right here? This thing's coming down hard. So fast up, fast down, man. More mad I missed a short, because that's a good short right there. That's an easy short. Probably coming back down to $10, $11. Catching longs like this are a lot harder than anything, because like you're buying green candles most of the time. I go on the 4-hour right now. So like it's tough to catch these longs. I'd rather wait for it to top out, and I try to catch like the back test, which would have been here for the short, or look for the bear flag, which would have been a nice trade too. I've already looked at MBIS. My thoughts on it were it was coming down. No, I lied. This is the wrong one. Sorry, too many. So look, we're coming up to resistance on MBIS. So I'd be watching that 140 as resistance, and to the downside. In the short term, if it does pull down, there are 2 CME gaps I'd be watching, or like weekend gaps that they left behind. So I'd be looking for the gaps to maybe get filled if we pull back. So they're at 125, 117, and then the other ones are lower than 110. Ultimately, I'd like to hold 110, though. If we held 110, I'd be more bullish that this thing's going to come attack that 140. So just what I'm seeing on that. I'm going to hold my trade open. Screw that. Pump and dump? Yeah, right. Let me go look at... I think I looked at NVIDIA already, didn't I? Maybe I didn't. We're just consolidating here. Here might look, this is what I think is going to happen. If we break up, it's going to go attack the high at 214. The resistance to break is at 194. So if we can break 194, it's back to the all-time highs. If we lose this neckline here of this head and shoulders that's starting to form, then it's eventually back down to 120, 125. Do we get a stop back down here at 150? I think so. We'll probably get a little bit of a bounce here. This seems like a good area to target for in the short term, short to medium term. But I think ultimately, if this breaks down, the measure moves back down to this macro trend. And it makes sense. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on NVIDIA. In the short term, though, it's just ranging, man. I wouldn't overthink it. Range high, and your range lows around 173. And 194 is your range high. So maybe it makes its way back up there. But if it starts to lose this trend, 155 is your first stop. 40 to 50K BTC targets, do I have the same? I think I could get the 40K. I think 50K is probably coming. I don't know how deep we'll go into the 50s, but I think it's likely we can hit 50. Something around the 50s. At 40s, maybe. I got some evidence saying we could go down to 41. Tau. Let me go look at Tau. I was actually looking at this the other day. I mean, Tau's holding weekly support, a.k.a. the bottom. Sucks to say, but it is what it is. This is not a good chart. Let me get a better chart. There we go. We'll use the XC chart. We're not looking at volume, so it doesn't really matter. So look, weekly low. And we've been putting lower highs in. We are getting a little bit of a pop here on the weekly. The big level to watch is where we're at right now. Can we get back above this high? It's around 312. Let's say 300 to 312. If we pop that, man, it could get back into the 4-500s. But I think this is major resistance for Tau right now. And it's got a decent move up here. So if you clear this, then yeah, you get a run back up into these areas up here, $400-500. But otherwise, this is resistance, and your support's back down at 170. That's the daily low. When you did get the daily market structure shift, so that's a good sign. Low, high, higher low, break a structure, boom, this thing ran up. That's attacking this high, so I'd watch that. I mean, you got maybe a little bit of an uptrend. Let me see if I can find something solid. Not really. I really wouldn't even count that. It's just been running up. Yep, those are your big levels. Right now, it's just consolidating. Does it do this and break up a little bit more and test this high, or does it break down and come, back test? Maybe a little bit of local support down here. Not much, but there's a little bit maybe, because you could see if we just drag this over. This is the level of significance is 250, so maybe if we do pull back, 250 could hold. We'll see. And I think that lines up with that trend too. Kinda. Depends on how long it takes, but yeah, that's Tau. No, I didn't go over US 30 already. Circle is killing you too. Sorry, dude. I'm gonna check out airs real quick. Oh, BMNR. Let me look at airs first, then I'll look at BMNR. Look, man. You're in an interesting spot. You're pressing up against previous resistance, or previous support rather. Right up here. You're at resistance. So that was the range, right? So, and it also lines up with the weekly high. So your weekly low is back down here, sitting around 165. Your weekly high is right around this $3 level. So I think the only way you get bullish is get that weekly break of structure, crack that $3, that 310. And then maybe reclaim this level, and then you can maybe attack some higher levels. How high does it go? I don't really know, to be honest. This thing's been kind of running a range. Every time it bounces off this level, it makes its way up to like $8, maybe up to $9. So I would say $8 to $9 if it can reclaim this and continue up. Otherwise, your support's sitting down around 150, 160. So go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, Follow, guys. If you're not subscribed or followed already, you'll get notifications when we go live 6 days a week. Also, check us out at tacticaledgetraders.com. We have free courses there for you. We'll teach you how to trade for free. All you need is an email and your time. You can also check out our Discord. And if you want to get into the Discord, check out our link. Not our link. Go to our website, and there's a link in the website that says join Discord. Click that, and then you got to make sure you verify once you join. It's going to be a little bit of like a CAPTCHA type of thing to make sure you're not a bot. And then you'll have access to what I think is the best trading community out there, but that's just me. I'm biased. Do I do a combo of day trading and swing trading? Yes, I do. Right now, mostly day trading, but when it comes time to swing, I do like to swing. You working OT today looking at these charts for us, bro? Nah, no problem, man. That's what I'm here for, guys. And like I said, if you guys join in the Discord and you ever have like a chart like in the Discord you want somebody to take a look at, you pop your chart in there, dude, you'll have a bunch of eyes on it, and you'll get second opinions, confirmation, bias, whatever you're looking for, it's there. And if the chart looks like shit and you're saying, hey, I'm thinking long here, and you're up against resistance, and I'll probably tell you it's probably not where I want to go long. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'll give you my advice. Sorry, I put a lip in. What lower time frames do you use to identify entry and determine trend change confirmation? Depends on what I'm doing. If I'm day trading, the 1 hour is typically where I'm watching. I'm mapping out my moves on the 1 hour. Then I'm dropping down to the 5 or the 15 minute for entry. And that's just so I can make sure I get a tight entry for the way I like to trade. Normally, I won't jump into a trade unless I've seen at least a 5-minute market structure shift, preferably a 15-minute market structure shift. So those are my lowest time frames. Swing trading, the 4 hours is my lower time frame. I like to swing trade on the daily and on the weekly. Mostly the daily, though. I like daily swings. And I like to try to get in on a 4-hour market structure shift. So I like to use the 4 hours, my lower time frame for my swinging. Let me go look at Circle, then I'll go look at OND. Well, I got to look at something else first. Well, my bad. BMNR. I feel like I know what this is. We've looked at this so many freaking times. Remember I gave this analysis and someone told Ben, I remember this. Someone told Ben that I was a lot easier on Ben gave like a really harsh analysis, and I gave it kind of like more like lackadaisy, I guess chill analysis, less bearish. Anyway, it broke out of the range we talked about, and I said that would happen, right? I said if we break out to the upside, this is a bull flag, we're probably going to come back up and try to take back some of this liquidity. We broke down from this little, whatever this was, pennant. This would be a great level to come retest, in my opinion, around $26, $27. We are approaching temporary resistance around 24. So maybe we get halted a little bit here, but I like this level up here. It just looks like a lot of confluence up there. Plus it's the low volume gap, takes us right up there. See how the candles move down quickly? A lot of times you can reclaim that quickly. So what you're looking for to stay bullish here, you're looking for this range high to hold as support. Any pullbacks, you want to see this hold, and then you can continue up, right? Watch out, you got some CME gaps on the left here that they could grab going into that $24 resistance. So that could get you a little bit of a rejection there off the first pass. That's what I was saying. Watch that 24. So that's a little bit of confluence there for maybe initial pullback. And if we do pull back a little deeper, this is the level I'd be watching, 21, 22. I know you like stocks, but can we look at Sweet? Yeah, I can look. Dude, I used to trade only crypto. I learned how to trade using crypto. I just trade stocks now because fucking crypto's been dead, dude. It's like, it's hard to trade crypto if there's no money in the crypto and there's no interest. Like, it's way easier just to go trade stocks because there's still interest there. Recently, it's been gold and oil, but let me go look at ONDS, then I'll look at Sweet for you, all right? What's my opinion about bot trading? How is it going to affect the TA market structure? It's not. Dude, look, there's so many algos out there. Like, if you go to Jane Street, it's one of the biggest market makers out there. Some people say they're responsible for the 1030 slam that happens every day if you trade in New York. They're all algos. All their guys are MIT fucking coders, like engineers and coders, and like people who've like who have no trading experience. You just got to learn how to trade around them. Like at the end of the day, trading is just it's the same thing. It's identifying levels of key interest and then reacting to it. And yeah, you can trade a bot to do that, but there's still going to be variables that that humans are still going to do a little. In my opinion, still going to do well. But the difference between a bot and a human is bots don't have emotions. That's why for like a newbie trader, a bot's probably going to do better than his own P&L, his own performance. But like for an experienced trader, he's probably going to outdo the bots because you're taking probably less. Bots tend to take more frequent trades, like smaller, more frequent trades, and sometimes that's the environment for it. But in my opinion, like I like to take big shots, and when I'm taking trades, I don't like to take little in, little out over like a bunch of trades. I'd rather take 1 or 2 trades a day and be done. And I don't trust the bot to do that for me. That's just me though. So let me do ONDS. When I look at a chart, it could go either way. How do you avoid being on the wrong side? If you look at a chart and it can go either way, you probably shouldn't trade that chart straight up. For me, if I'm looking at a chart on like a 4-hour or a daily or a higher time frame, if it doesn't scream out to me that it's at a major level, I'm not interested in trading it there. What I'll do is I'll mark out my levels and wait for it to get to those levels. Otherwise, I do not care. Like that's the way I think about it. Like, if a chart is giving you mixed directions and it feels like it could go 50-50, stay away from it. Wait till the edge is in your favor. Like you think it's going to go up, there's like a more % chance or probability that it's going to go up, and then look the long. Find your entry for your long. That's how I trade, because you always want the edge in your favor. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're the casino at the end of the day. You need the edge to be profitable over time. Just like a casino has an edge over the player, in this case, you want to be the casino as a trader. Make sure that edge always favors you. And if you do that over time, you should be profitable if you execute properly. So look, ONDS is still holding this trend we've talked about from November of last year, right? What I want to see is this level broken. I think this is going to be my confirmation of the ascending triangle here. All right, talked about ascending triangles. They have a higher probability of breaking to the upside than the downside. If we can break back above 1140, there's a chance that this is going to pop back to the highs. I'm serious. Like, look, I'll take us almost to the highs. That's the measured move, around 14. And it would make sense because, look, like we're holding the uptrend. And the trend actually extends back a little bit further. See what I mean? Every time we hit this trend, we get a nice pop. So if it holds and it breaks that 1140 level, I think you're back up to about 14, 15 bucks. But treat that as resistance, Don't go long into this thinking it's going to go up because the guy on YouTube or TikTok said it. Make sure you get that confirmation. Make sure you get that breakout retest, I'm always looking for this. Just like I did on Bitcoin today. I'll show you same exact example. Or not on Bitcoin, it's on Ethereum. So look, Ethereum, you broke out. There's a little bit of a retest. You could probably see it right there. And then it runs. Bitcoin. Oh, not Bitcoin. Solana, the same thing right here. It was Solana. This is what you're looking for. The ascending triangle to break, and you're looking for that confirmation. Whether it's a small pullback or a big pullback, you're looking for something that says, hey, buyers are interested in price going higher. Or not buyers, sellers want price to go higher. And then buyers are stepping in to push it there. So what's a good platform to trade crypto futures? You can use, if you're using crypto futures, you can do Buy DeFi, which is an exchange. If you're looking for a platform to trade it, I haven't really gotten a good platform. We trade on NinjaTrader, but that's mostly stocks, commodities. You can trade select cryptos, but it doesn't have it's not really crypto. They have crypto like Bitcoin and stuff, but not like your altcoins. So you're better off trading on an exchange. The one I use is Buy DeFi. Links are in the bio, by the way. But it's spelled BYDFI. They just got lower fees, and it's an easy interface. No problem, Mr. CR. You think Bitcoin will pump? I think it's going to go up to 79, 80K. I don't know if it's going to pump tonight. What I expect more is this. I expect this to kind of chop around a little bit. Sorry, guys. It's like the most talking I do in an entire day is when I stream. So I'd expect Bitcoin, if it can hold above the 74,000, man, I think it's going to go up to 79. Could we get a pullback first? Yeah. And I think we're seeing it now. Oh, we have VWAP? Hold on. Yeah, we lost VWAP. Probably going to close my trade out now. Well, I closed out my trade for the day. For the night, rather. So I'm in profits, so I'm happy. I had a good day, man. I caught 3 trades today. And I hit all of them. I hit 2 during New York, and I hit one during Asia. So I'm probably going to be chilling for a little bit. Usually when I'm on a winning streak, I stop. I have to stop myself. Otherwise, I start taking dumb trades. That's all part of the trading psychology, learning yourself, knowing yourself. You feel like there's too many patterns to remember. What are the top patterns to use in your daily TA? You don't have to remember them all. Pick a few you like. I like head and shoulders. Inverse head and shoulders, the same thing, just on the reverse. I like ascending triangles and descending triangles. Those are like the big ones I trade. Symmetrical triangles, I don't like trading those as much. I'll watch for those to break and I'll wait, but they're not my favorite. If we're in a trending market, I obviously like bull flags and bear flags, depending on which way we're trending. So I kind of keep it simple. Head and shoulders, the bull flag, bear flag, and your ascending or descending triangles. Those are the big ones for me. Just pick a few, get really good at learning how to like enter on them, because every one has a particular way you're supposed to enter if you're playing the breakout retest. And just get really good at identifying like fake outs and stuff. And once you learn that, like you can start to feel out when it's a fake out, you'll get better at trading them, and you can actually raise up your win percentage. What's your background? Like, is it technical or not? My background? No, dude. So I got an extensive background. So out of college, I went into criminal justice in college, undergrad. I thought I was going to be like a fucking detective. I was a police officer for 6 years in Philly. I retired because of an injury to my Achilles. I tore my Achilles in the line of duty. I went into cybersecurity, got my master's during that injury, so I actually do have a little bit of a technical background. That was right around when I started doing crypto. Right when I was going into cybersecurity, kind of got me into crypto. Then I started learning how to trade because I got smoked in the last bull market. Gave back everything. And I've been just, since then, since like 2000, I've been pretty much just learning how to trade, dedicated myself to the craft. But a little bit technical. But not like I didn't come from like an IT background or anything like that. It was I kind of transitioned into it. But I've always been like like a techie type of person. I like I've always liked video games and computers and stuff. So jumping on TradingView and figuring this stuff out, like using the interfaces in the software, is just like second nature. It's more about figuring out why price moves. That was more of the struggle for me. Haha, it was me, bro. Yeah. What else you guys want to look at? I got like 1 or 2 more charts in me. By the way, if you're not following, subscribed, go ahead and do that. You'll get notifications as we go live 6 days a week. Myself and Ben. Also, check us out, tacticaleducators.com. You get access to our free courses. The only thing you need is an email and your time, and you can get trained on how to trade. You'll also be able to join our Discord right from their website and be part of a real trading community. Full-time traders, aspiring traders, all levels. Do you think there will be an alt season? No, not soon. I think if we get an alt season, it's when money is back in the market. Right now, dude, there's no interest in crypto. Everything we're seeing is just a rally, a relief rally. I don't think money gets back interested in crypto until Bitcoin starts to like run back up and the cycles resets. And I don't think the cycle resets till the end of the year. So I think at earliest, alts won't have a shot until probably later this year or next year. And even then, man, like we saw in the last cycle, there was no real alt season. It was, we had pumps. Every year we had a decent run up with the altcoins after Bitcoin had its rally. And we saw that for 3 years, except for in 2025, most alts didn't really run. You had a few that ran, like the BNB select tokens. They ran up, but a lot of them just kind of faded at that point. There's too many altcoins, so it's too saturated of a sector now, and there's just not enough new interest and new money coming in. So I think we need money. I think monetary policy needs to be better. We need to be in a risk-on environment, which we are not in. So I would be looking for those first before I'll be looking for an alt season. He said cybersecurity is top-notch technical. Yeah, try teaching that to a person. I had to learn how to code. Oh, God, dude, it's so fucking horrible. Like, not real code. Like, I can't fucking write a program, but I can operate on, I can operate on Linux. I can, kind of, do some scripts on Python, a little bit of HTML, CSS, just, your basic web stuff. That's about it. I can break into people's computers and shit, though. I've done that. Part of my projects, when I had to you have to some of the projects I had to do were basically gain root access to a network and shit that was secured, use backdoors and password crackers and shit. I've done all that stuff. It's fun, but it's tough, man. Especially when you got AI now doing everything that I can do. AI does it better. Sweet, there we go. Thank you. I was waiting. All right, so Sui's doing what I thought it was going to do, right? I was like, if we break this range, look for the back test, and we're starting to get that now. So we're breaking back above $1. Can we hold above $1? If we do, I think the next target is around 117, and if we break that, I think we get back up to 130 on Sui. You can see the range. I'm just going to extend the line over for you. So you extend that. That's what we need to hold above. Realistically, to stay bullish. Can we deviate slightly below it? Yeah, but we don't want to give back below 98. 98 is my line in the sand. Don't lose that low. And then if you don't, I think you could make your way up to that 117, 130. So those are your levels. Break back into this though, and you lose that lose that 98, then you could come all the way back down to the bottom of the range, which sits around 86, 88. So just be mindful of that. But as long as it's above this $1 level, I think it's got more upside. Now look, I mean, it's been beat down pretty hard too, just like everything else. Let's take all the drawings out. So a little pop back up to this area is not that much. It's not asking for a lot. Back up to that 135. Realistically, it's not. But ultimately, I think it does come back down here and fill this wick. So if we get up here, I'm going to get defensive, maybe even short biased, and looking for shorts back down. But in the meantime, we could get that pump. No problem, C. Kearns. End mapping, yep. Oh, yeah, dude. All you need is an IP address, brother. All you need is somebody's IP address, and you could do a lot. I'm going to check out two more, all right? I'm going to look at Lulu, then I'm going to look at TSM, and those will be my last two for the night. And then I want to probably jump. Been going for a little bit over an hour and a half now. I want to get on a little earlier so I can, kind of spend some more time on here and not be worried about the clock. I mean, look, Lululemon is getting smashed right now. I don't know what happened with it, but it's not looking great. So look, here's the big level you lost. It sits right here at this 233, and you can see why it's a big level, right? It was support, we lost it, became resistance right there on the weekly. So in order to flip bullish again, you got to start getting some structure going. And right now, your daily high is not until 190. So you got to get back over 190 to break structure on the daily. Break structure on the weekly, you got to get back above this 225, 223 level. So those are your immediate levels, right? To the upside. To the downside, you're sitting on support right now. You can't lose this level. If you lose this level, your next level down isn't until this wick, all the way back down at 128. So Lulu needs to hold. If it doesn't hold, 125, 120, maybe even down to 112 is next. But if we hold, those are your levels to the upside, 192 and 228. So we'll see. For now, it's just kind of trending down. So until this trend breaks, I wouldn't expect much. What you could do is pop your 4 hour on, look for divergences, look for the trend right here to start to It's a shift. If we can shift and get some 4-hour structure going, maybe there's a chance. You know what I mean? I'll check and see if there's any divergence real quick. I mean, there's a little bit of bullish divergence on the 4-hour starting to form at this low. So really what we want to see is that structure break now. So if you get that structure break and this can flip up, you might have a little bit of a case to the upside. All right, I will do TSM, Adobe, and that's it. Those are the last three, guys. Stablecoins are near an all-time high, so liquidity is there. We just need a tiny bit of rotating capital from gold, silver, or the stock market to trigger an explosion. I'm waiting 4 years. Am I fucked? I'll be honest with you, dude. If you're still holding bags, you might want to consider on the next pump maybe taking some profits, getting some fucking lifestyle chips out of there. I wouldn't go holding into the next cycle because we don't know what's going to come back. What is? If you're holding shit coins is what I'm saying. That's just my feeling on that. I was big in the altcoins too, and I've gotten burnt, and I know like a lot of them never actually made it back to their previous highs from last cycle. So aside from like Solana and a few ones that ran up from this cycle, like XRP and stuff like that, none of them really put in new highs. I think the only like Chainlink didn't put a new high in. Ethereum barely put a new high in by like $100 maybe. So like it's hard to predict what's gonna last multi-cycle. So that's just my thinking on that. So look, TSM is still in an uptrend. You've just been holding this trend since what? Since the tariff lows. So this trend is still in effect. I think the low to watch here right now is going to be the low we just put in on the daily at 332 into this trend line. I'd like to see that hold for a continuation up, maybe to attack the highs again at 389. If we break down from here and lose this trend, your big level below is around 275, okay? So maybe you get a little support around 324. If you do deviate a little bit below this level, like right down here, you get a little sweep and then pop. This is the level I'd be watching. But that's a little scarier of a move, and you would need to see a reclaim of that trend. Otherwise, you want to hold the level I just talked about. And that's your high that you're looking to attack on TSM. Later, George. I appreciate it, man. Now let's go look at Adobe. All right, Adobe was my last one, guys. So if I didn't get your ticker today, you could always tune in. Tomorrow, Ben will be live. If you're not sure when we go live, hit that subscribe, hit that follow button. They will get notifications. Also, hit that like. You'll help out the channel. And, if you want to join a real trading community, check us out, tacticaledgetraders.com. We'll teach you to trade for free. Courses on the website. And then you can join our Discord directly from there. It's free to join. You'll be around real traders of all levels. So, look, Adobe, you got to reclaim this level. You're starting to lose a lot of major levels right now. But the most important one is this 270, man. You see how we're rejecting right here? You got to gain acceptance back in there. If you don't, then it's probably coming down to taking these lows at 210, maybe the low 200s. That's really where you're headed. You've already swept this liquidity here. So it's can we reclaim 270? If not, you're coming back down to 207. That's simple there. You got a gap to the upside. That's going to be resistance now in your shorter time frames, right? For Adobe. So watch this gap. If you can break through this gap and not get rejected at resistance, maybe you got something, right? If you can get back above, that will start to look a little bit better for the bulls in the short term. But for now, I'd expect something like this maybe. Those are my scenarios right there that I see probably playing out on Adobe. It all starts with that 270 level. You can watch that gap in the short term at 257. And to the downside, 207. Anyways, guys. Oh, yeah, Fartcoin. My bad, Parker. Let me get that Fartcoin analysis for you. My bad, dude. I did say that. I guess this is my last one. We're gonna end on a bang, guys. Fartcoin. Look, Fartcoin, you're up against resistance. When I was trading Fartcoin, I wrote it up here and got the short all the way down. I'm not even joking. It was me and John in the Discord together. We were posting the trades too. We were posting exactly where we were going long and stuff. And we caught this all the way up. I didn't get to the tippy top, but I got pretty close. I got over $2 and I ran it down after that. Well, what I would need to see on Farcoin, you got to get back above 23 cents. If you get back above 23 cents, you open up a potential to get back up to that 48 zone. So it all starts there, right? Right now on the daily, you've got a daily market structure shift, but you need to break this resistance you're right up against. So get back above 23, and then maybe you can start attacking some of these highs up here. Starting right here on the daily at on 32. And if you break that, maybe you get back up to 49.50. Otherwise, if you can't get back above 23, you're coming back down to this 14, 15 cents area. So that's Farcoin for you guys. Gain acceptance back into the previous range, and you expect to maybe get back up to the highs. Or at least attempt. So, anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a great night. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, hit that follow, hit that like, hit that subscribe. You'll get notifications when we go live. Also, check us out, tacticaledgetraders.com. And until next time, guys, if I didn't get your ticker, join in the Discord. Tag me, Unfair Philly. Let me know what ticker you had. I'll TA it for you. Anyways, guys, have a good night. I appreciate y'all.